Welcome back to another episode of Nothing Savvy Sports Podcast. This is your host, Trent, and these are my co-hosts, as always, Anthony and Taylor.
What's up?
Sir. Absolutely not. Those are the worst things to run across on TikTok. Preseason is here, and it's going great. I'm beyond excited about everything that's about to happen in the next coming 2 weeks. College football is almost here. The Huskers, Matt Rule, everything. The Lions got a decent team. The Cowboys have hope, like always, I guess you could always say. And the Patriots for Anthony, it's not looking bad for you. Mac Jones is not looking bad at all.
Well, did you see that other guy, Malik Cunningham? Malik Cunningham. He's Lamar Jackson Jr. He had I think they said he had more rushing touchdowns or yards or something like that than Lamar did. They both went to Louisville, and he's a running, scrambling quarterback. So
is that the guy that they were comparing to Lamar Jackson the entire time?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I saw something about it, but I wasn't
I saw somebody on Twitter said something about Bill Belichick's going to make Malik Cunningham his next Julian Edelman. Did they use him at wide receiver or something?
That is the guy that I was looking up. They pulled. He has him in at a receiver spot, I believe, on the roster.
So he was a quarterback in college, just like Julian Edelman when Kent State he was quarterback, and he's been lining up at receiver. But today in practice, apparently he put on a red shirt and was doing a lot of quarterback stuff. So Bill might have seen what he needed to see in game and was like, okay, this guy gives us a little bit more noise at quarterback than Mac or Bailey Zappi. So he might wait for 5-6 weeks of either Mac or Bailey underperforming, and then he might throw him in there to the Wolves and see if he's ready for it.
Yeah, could. That'd be pretty impressive. I don't know. That's kind of like the quarterback that almost everybody in the NFL wants now.
He has all the same metrics and all of the same pros and cons that Lamar Jackson had coming out of college. Similar stats, everything, and Lamar was MVP in year 2? So I'm just saying it could have. I'm not banking on anything. This is just like the Bailey Zappi hype that happened last year when he came in for Mac.
It's the typical nothing. Belichick picking up a guy that everybody overlooked, and then all of a sudden he looks like a damn superstar out there. But
pretty sure he was a late round draft pick too. Imagine he gets his Brady
that's what
again
the whole,
after only a few years.
Yeah, that's what the whole video I was watching was. This guy on TikTok, he always goes nuts over certain plays or players or whatever, but he was like, Belichick does it again, picks up a late round draft pick, and look at him now, going off about it and stuff like that.
This is what he sounds like, just like that.
Yeah, it's he's almost exactly what he sounds like.
Couldn't listen to that.
He sounds way better than that, but it's just funny. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to actually be able to talk about something, except for stressing out about what we're going to talk about, and then me not wanting to have a podcast because I feel like there's no content. But
there's so much. Even if it's just a mock draft every single time up until the season, we could have done a mock draft. Right, we could. Honestly, we could have done a mock draft once a week. I know we all been I haven't been that busy. I know you two have, but we could have done a mock draft once a week for the last. Yeah, I know, right? Only a baby, but for the last 6 weeks or something. Just that, honestly, nothing else. Didn't even have to talk about anything.
I haven't done one since then mainly because that's not what I do. I don't do this. I don't do the mock drafts. And after I did that mock draft, I was all excited, and I was like, dude, my team wasn't that bad. I could do some things here. But that wasn't an auction one. I was thinking about my other league. But it never goes that way. I've done them before, and every single time that I get done with them and then I get into the actual draft, it's done. After the first 2 picks, I'm like, it's over. I don't know.
There's my strategy. Those are the guys I wanted.
Plan A, B, and C off the table. It It
you
goes
think
away
you're gonna get
fast.
someone for $60 or something, and they go for 85, and you just don't know what to do with yourself anymore.
Or you pick up
I'm
someone
ready
like
for
Cam
it to
Akers
happen
and he
again.
doesn't even play the first game. But
Yeah, don't do that.
right, dude. I mean, it can't start worse than it did last year. It can't. I mean, it definitely could, but I mean.
Oh, hey,
not.
so Taylor, I don't know how many you've done of the underdog drafts. I've done
I
like,
think still just 2.
okay, I've done 5. And I'm keeping it. I have one more left because I have $25 in the account, and I'm waiting for a few more. Like maybe get to the end of week 3, the last preseason games. Maybe I'll do it before like they start announcing final depth charts, but at least after like the injury risks go away, unless it happens in practice or something. I don't know if we ever told you about it, but the very first time I ever drafted in Trent's league with all of his little cowboy friends, I drafted Jerick McKinnon, and an hour later he tore his ACL in practice. And it was the year that he was going in the 4th round, the very first time that when he signed that contract.
Was that the first year you're in the league?
It was.
Yeah.
No, second I think, but it was the when he signed the contract with the 49ers. So had some devastating stuff happen in these years. So I'm not going to make that mistake. But dude, I was going to say I drafted a filthy team this last time with stacks and everything. I want to share it really quickly because if anyone in here does underdog, this is the first year I've done it. I think it's the first year Taylor's done it too. But I have Lamar Jackson. I got him stacked with Mark Andrews. I got CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra for the week 17, if I make it to week 17. But if I make it there, they play each other, and if it's a shootout, then they're both on the opposite teams. So I got them as my 1 and 2. And then I got, Zay Flowers and Jameson Williams as well for more stacking. I got Jared Goff as a backup quarterback for Amon-Ra and for Jameson Williams. I got Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end, on the Lions as well. I picked up Zeke Elliott really late just in case he gets on a decent team. My running backs are weak. I have Miles Sanders, James Cook, Jalen Warren, and Roshan Johnson, the backup on the Bears, in case he gets over Khalil Herbert or something, or if Herbert goes down. But yeah, this team with my stack of Lamar and Mark Andrews as well as CeeDee and Amon-Ra, and they play each other in week 17. I think this is my best team I've drafted so far out of the 5.
I worry about any Cowboy offensive players going into this year that aren't named Tony Pollard, just because Kellen Moore's gone and old Eminem made it abundantly clear that he wants to run the ball more and he wants to control the clock more and he wants to take advantage of his elite defense more. And so CD's a beast. Love him, but
I need that step up.
I don't know how much they're going to throw the ball this year. I don't know how much they're going to just try to light up scoreboards. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to try and grind out games.
That's how they've been trending.
What do you think they're trying to stay
they've been trending down.
Mike McCarthy wants to.
Maybe it's their quarterback. I don't know.
Maybe you mean the one that's led the number 1 offense in the NFL for the past few years? Yeah, sure. Maybe that guy.
Maybe he just is better at handing the ball off. No joking. Maybe if Cooper Rush I can't remember if I talked to Taylor about this on the podcast or if I talked to him in person, but I almost have to if I didn't have my podcast on the TikTok, I would get rid of it because of it's not even the hate for just Dak. It's the hate for any player that someone wants to go after on TikTok. Like they take one play out of the preseason or they take one play out of training camp or whatever. And they're like, oh my gosh, the season's over. Look at this. This is insane. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, it is one play in practice. You know how many times when I was in college, if you would have taken a video of one of my plays where I either just the ball hit me in the face because I wasn't paying attention or if I was having a bad day, or, that's ridiculous. You're going to go to someone's practice where they're trying to get better and then judge their entire next season off of one play. I don't know. The clickbait is insane on TikTok. But
the only, it's one of those things where the only reason why Dak gets hated on the way he does is because he has a star on his helmet.
He's on the most criticized team and he's the most criticized quarterback. And it's popularity. That team
it
got more
makes
fans than
no
anybody.
sense because he's literally like, they picked this interception thing just because this last year he had a anomaly year where he threw more interceptions than he ever has in his career. And even with that year added in, he's still in the elite quarterback range as far as interception percentage goes. And so
Over
it's
under
just
10 interceptions.
under.
Trent?
I don't know. I'm
figured
very
as a
biased.
hater
I'm not
you'd
even
say
gonna.
over.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
I
I'm just
honestly
not gonna.
don't think they're going to throw the ball that much. I mean, right now, Dak, I think his interception percentage for his career is 2. So, meaning for every 100 pass attempts, he throws 2 interceptions.
I don't see him throwing.
I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week.
As he did last year. I just don't see him throwing as many interceptions as he did last year. I mean, how many games is he out? Like 4 games at the beginning of the year?
5.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut Dak some slack here. Okay, this is gonna be the only time I do this. Dak, how many games did he play before he was out? It was just 1, wasn't it? 1 or 2?
Yeah, he got hurt in the week 1 game.
Yeah, so you go to start your week 1 game and you get hurt, and then you sit out for 5 games. And some of those weeks you're not even able to practice. He's probably. I mean, I think I saw a couple of clips where he was just out there throwing balls and stuff. So you come back into NFL football 6 weeks in. Everybody else is at 100% at this point, and you're coming in just brand new to the season. So yeah, I mean, he's 6 weeks behind and had to play catch up probably the entire season. Some people are like, "Oh, he's an NFL quarterback. He should be able to come in and play as though he's the star." Yeah, okay, you go and do that. Take 6 weeks off your actual job and then come back in and try to be the best you were 6 weeks ago. Not going to happen. But I mean, especially off an injury like that. So I will cut Dak some slack. I don't think he's going to come in next year, and if he stays healthy, I think he'll go right back to where he was, which was being like a top 5 quarterback, like he used to be. So, I mean, yeah, I think he will be top 5 this year if the Cowboys play at the potential that their offense is able to do. He will be a top 5 quarterback. There's no reason why he shouldn't be. He has CeeDee Lamb.
There's 5 really good quarterbacks I can name right now.
There are 5 really good quarterbacks, but their offense is capable of making him a top 5 quarterback. And that is the nicest thing I will say about Dak Prescott all year.
I'll take it.
Clip it.
Clip it. I mean, my son's probably going to be a Cowboys fan. It's hard to live in Texas and not be a Cowboys fan. So Noah's probably going to grow up and be a Cowboys fan. There's no way I'm going to be like, "Hey, you want to be a Lions fan? We go 2-10 every year." I mean,
could just start dressing him in Houston Texans clothes. Eventually,
okay,
that borders on child abuse.
I will put myself 6 feet under before I put my kid in Houston, Texas. That's like my father-in-law thinks he's going to wear Astros gear. What? Who does he think he's? No, he's going to be wearing Rangers gear.
Pretty good now. Well, I don't know about this year, but they've been good.
It's easy to be good when you're cheating every year.
That's true. They did cheat.
Oh,
I'm kidding. But
okay,
yeah.
Taylor, did you see the Johnny Manziel documentary?
I did. I watched that.
I've not watched it yet.
How'd you feel about like the parts where he was saying? I mean, I'm sure there's stuff you knew or assumed, but talking about not watching film, the lie about his parents, and the lie about his parents.
The lie was the most interesting thing that I heard on it, because that was my big thing the whole time was like, this kid, because that was the story that all the major publications ran with.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN. I read a story in like Sports Illustrated or something it was like a Johnny Manziel story, and they mentioned in there that they were from oil field money, that his family had vast amounts of wealth, and to find out that was just some rumor that it's some 20-year-old kid in college made up. Does the media do zero fact checking whatsoever?
I know, right?
I mean, this is the same year that Manti Te'o had a fake girlfriend. Nobody figured this stuff out. We just ran with these stories. These guys finished 1 and 2 in the Heisman. It's crazy. But like, what's funny is I had a buddy who he worked at he worked at the apartment complex that we lived at, and he kept telling us, he was like, man, I don't know how this kid's affording courtside seats and stuff like that. I was like, oh, well, they come from oil field money. And he was like, I don't know, man, they failed a credit check at our apartment.
Oh,
and I was like,
You should have
went
to the news with that. You should have went there, dude.
He could have ended it. He is the. I'm assuming this is Jace. Jace, you ruined.
Were you like a senior when he was a freshman, or were you there when he was there at all?
My last year there, my last semester there was Johnny's freshman year. Yeah, and that was.
So he had hype then, though, right? Because he was a beast when he was a freshman. No,
I mean, he was a beast. He gained hype as he went through the year, but we came into the season. I mean,
nobody knew.
Nobody knew who. I mean, people knew who Johnny Manziel was. I mean, he was a really good quarterback in high school. I think he committed to Oregon originally, and then ended up coming to Texas A&M, redshirted his first year, and then I always tell people this story because I went to that first game. Was against Florida at Kyle Field, and I was there. And before the game, I went to the bathroom, and this dude that was absolutely blitzed out of his mind, is next to me at the urinal, and he was like, "Man, people don't realize, man, Johnny Manziel's about to set college football on fire, man. People just don't realize." And I'm sitting there like, all right, drunk dude, sounds good. Can I pee in peace now? Like, dude was just losing it. But then drunk dude at the urinal was right, man. I don't know who he was, but that guy was right. He knew what he was talking about.
We need to find that guy.
There was this guy I saw, completely irrelevant, but it's future tellers, sort of. This guy on TikTok was talking about how he went to an open practice when Patrick Mahomes was a rookie, when he was behind Alex Smith. And he watched him throw the football, and he threw an 80-yard pass, and he was like, and it was accurate. And he's like, holy crap. And he was doing it over and over again. He's like, okay, this guy's a beast. So he went on eBay and he bought up a crap ton of rookie patch autographs of Patrick Mahomes, because they were probably still expensive because they're still rookie autographs, but they weren't super expensive. And then the next year or the year after, whatever it was, whenever he just started balling, dude got 1,000x on all of his money, and he turned into a millionaire. I thought that was sick. So maybe that guy did that. Maybe he put a bunch of bets on Johnny Manziel to win the Heisman. And
or
go
he drank himself to death.
Or that. Yeah, he might have died right after
Hey,
that.
man, he's probably still at Northgate today.
I'm just waiting on my Zach Wilson rookie patch I'm waiting on Zach Wilson to start tearing it up like Trent thinks he's going to, because I got that rookie patch card, and I'm ready for it.
And there's something about it. Like, I keep seeing these clips of Aaron Rodgers just at practice, coaching up Zach Wilson. And the weirdest thing is, you think the pretty boy, cocky kid with Zach Wilson wouldn't listen to this guy. Okay, old timer.
Aaron's a pretty boy too.
I mean,
Cali kid.
Kind of. He's a weird guy, but I mean, he's coaching this guy up. It's almost like he's trying to pass off his talents as he's going out, as he's turning into dust.
It definitely helps that he's coaching him up, legitimately being a mentor for him.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what they said Brett Favre was to him. He was basically almost not even like a mentor. I don't even know if all that is true, that they were saying that this is what Brett Favre did to him, because I didn't really get to witness that. But, I mean, think about it. He's probably just trying to pass it on. And it would be insane if after Aaron Rodgers retires, Zach Wilson just tears it up after that. It would be nuts.
Unless he loses his head when Aaron leaves.
Yeah.
Unless he stays on as a coach, but that'd be weird.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's some parts where Zach Wilson at the beginning, I was like, oh, this guy looks pretty decent. He actually looks really good. And then it just went downhill extremely fast. And I don't know if it was a confidence thing. He started out confident, something bad happened, and then it just he just started tanking. But I don't know.
When you're on top of the world and everything goes your way and you're a beast in college, and then you start getting crazy interceptions, everyone's crapping on you all over the place, I would say that would kill your confidence pretty quickly.
I mean, 100% that could have probably broken, but hopefully I don't have anything.
Did you see his touchdown pass this weekend?
I didn't see a touchdown pass. I saw the one where Aaron Rodgers I think his name's Malik or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, that was Hard
I mean,
Knocks.
he dropped it
Yeah, that
like
was on
a
Hard
nice
Knocks.
ball in there. But
yeah, well, that was last week.
He's got good throws. Like he throws really good. I don't know. Maybe it's just his decisions.
The reason I'm bringing it up is because this weekend, what happened? You're talking about how Zach Wilson's getting mentored by Aaron Rodgers. You know how Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the best fake handoff play action quarterbacks of all time. He just has it down. He knows how to fake out a whole defense because I don't know how he does it. He just looks good doing it. Zach Wilson did that and then turned around just like Aaron always does, quick on a zipper, touchdown. So
yeah, I mean,
he's learning and fast.
That's what I'm saying. Like if he just mimics him, mirrors Aaron Rodgers, and just like copies his play style, there's no way he could be a bad quarterback.
Look at Jimmy Garoppolo with Tom Brady. Sat behind him for a few years, and now he's at least a middling quarterback in the NFL. Even if that happens.
It says something about, like, I think these other franchises need to, like, see that and learn from that. They always want to, like, draft a guy and put him straight in. I'm like, maybe you need to draft a guy early when you know your quarterback's going out. I mean, that's probably really hard to do. You don't know when your guy's just going to, like, deuce out. But, like, put him behind someone or try to get him behind someone who has some, like, or has a ton of experience like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, or get someone behind Patrick Mahomes or something when he's about to go out. I mean, you'd have to get someone at the same play style as Patrick Mahomes, I feel like, too. But, I mean...
That's impossible, almost.
I don't think it's impossible.
Bro, he's good at running.
Everybody always
says
that there'll never be another Patrick Mahomes, and then 8 years down the road, boom.
Almost. How do you guys feel about the whole Justin Fields thing? Everyone's blowing up his stats. People who didn't even watch the game are on Twitter retweeting his stats. And I'm like, did you watch what he did? It was all yards after catch. His teammates did everything. He threw 3 passes and he got 2 touchdowns. He threw one out of the backfield to Khalil Herbert, 60-something yards, and then one little bubble screen, I think it was, to DJ Moore, 60-something yards, touchdown. Both of them. He didn't throw it downfield, and everyone's acting like he's going to be MVP this year.
Everybody knows he has an arm.
Yeah. But
I mean, he's got a good arm.
But he didn't show his accuracy. He threw the ball 7 yards out to the flat, and then he threw the ball 10 yards out to DJ Moore on a bubble screen. He didn't throw it downfield. He didn't do anything yet, and everyone's already hyping him up. Dude's moving up draft boards in fantasy like crazy. It is stupid. Don't buy into it yet.
Hey, I had him on my fantasy team last year, and the dude almost brought me back in my league. It's just that he was scoring like what?
Like 30 plus points a week.
Like 30, dude. Yeah, like 30 something points a game. Like he's great for fantasy. Like that's a guy that's going to get you points. He runs the ball and scores touchdowns on his own and throws touchdowns. So like, yeah, I could see him moving up the fantasy chart. But is he going to be like a good quarterback next year? I don't know.
I doubt it.
Debatable. I mean, is that team going to be good next year or this year? So.
He doesn't need to be a good NFL quarterback to be a good fantasy quarterback, though.
True. That's what I'm saying.
He's young enough right now where he still might run the ball a lot and be able to get you points that way, be able to score you points just like Jalen Hurts did this past year, scoring the goal line touchdowns that he was doing. He could end up being one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the league and then still not be a very good quarterback in the NFL and still not take the Bears anywhere. But I do like DJ Moore. I think they're going to use him kind of like almost Deebo Samuel-esque, where
people are
saying they try to use him as like a, not necessarily a running back, but try to use the passing game as a run game. Just like you were saying, like short little passes and let the wide receiver do all the work.
Yeah, I don't know. Is DJ Moore really built like that? Like Deebo loves the contact, and he's a yards after catch guy. I don't know if he's built that way, but they could still try.
I'm a believer in DJ Moore. I like him a lot, and I like him this year with the new offense and being with a new QB, especially one that has a running threat that's going to have the attention of the defense on him whenever he's outside the pocket. I like DJ Moore this year.
Think about how dangerous that can be. I mean, you're going against a guy that can run at almost any moment. Like He's got that ability.
Does it remind you of someone?
Michael Vick.
Okay.
No.
Well, now let's
stop.
Well, I was just gonna say there's a similarity. Jalen Hurts last year 3 breakout season.
He's faster
after
than
he was
Jalen
given
Hurts is.
He got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, little breakout year 2 receiver, and then now he's gonna have DJ Moore, an upgraded receiving core, and it's year 3. They're saying it could be a Jalen Hurts type season where dude's gonna give you 27 to 30 points a game, and like you could get him cheap, just like last year. You got Jalen Hurts cheap in the auction draft, and you could still get Justin Fields for a relatively cheap price as well. So
yeah,
maybe that's your guy this year.
The thing that I don't know, it's exciting to think that he carried his team on his back by himself last year, and the dude was literally
lost so much, bro.
I know, but he was still keeping them in games just by himself, by running the ball and just trying to make things happen. Think about if he actually has an offense this year and has that dual threat. Everybody was yeah, he can run, but who's he gonna throw it to? And everybody was oh, they got Mooney, and I was just that's not enough. There was no real threat, but I don't know. This year could change all that with DJ Moore. But
I mean, they got rid of Roquan Smith in that trade. I don't know what their defense is really looking like this year. That's the only thing. They couldn't stop anybody last year. Justin Fields always had to come from behind. He would try to do too much and then throw an interception when he got the game, within 7 points, and then they'd lose. That's kind of what it felt like. I'm pretty sure, didn't the Bears end the season on a crazy losing streak? Pretty sure they did. I mean, look.
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Pretty sure they did. Let's count them up, boys. Vikings lost, Bears lost, Bills lost, Eagles lost, Packers lost, Jets lost, Falcons lost, Lions lost, Dolphins lost, Cowboys lost. 10-game losing streak. Terrible.
What did you want from him?
Dude,
they were horrible.
But great fantasy numbers from Justin Fields in all of those games.
How many of those did he score 30 points or more?
And honestly,
almost
man,
a lot.
You want him getting blown out because then he's going to air the ball out.
That is true.
I'd rather him be down by 30 points every time. Come out gunning, just fire the ball.
Can that be a strategy? You pick up a quarterback that you know is going to lose a lot, so they're going to throw it every single time.
People did it with Jameis Winston all the time.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
really?
Jameis Winston was such an awesome fantasy QB.
Dude,
he dug his own holes. He threw 30 interceptions and had 30 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
He would bury his team beneath the dirt and then try to resurrect him in the second half. It was beautiful. Just rack up fantasy
yards
points.
A game, 3 touchdowns.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, so easy, dude. Jameis was a beast. Well, not a beast, but a beast. You know what I mean? It was amazing.
That's crazy. It's gonna have to have another strategy going into this draft coming up.
No, I think Justin Fields is pretty fairly priced. I think in auction right now. I don't think he's going for a crazy amount. There's some people that are.
Well, yeah, that's just put you at picking him up later on. You pick him up or whatever, and someone's like, "Why the heck are you picking up him?" Okay, but
that's what happened.
I don't know who else I would. I guess the Richardson and the Colts would not be a bad one. I feel like their team's not that great. That might be a good one to pick up. He's kind of a, I don't know. He might be like a Justin Fields type quarterback.
Pretty sure Justin Fields was buns his rookie year, so I don't know, man.
I worry about Anthony Richardson. There's a lot of hype around him right now, and
there is a lot of hype.
Rookie QBs just don't. I mean, when was the last time a rookie QB came in and just lit it up? It doesn't happen. It takes a year at least to start getting this game figured out, to start figuring out how to work to treat this like a job. It hadn't been a job their whole life, and now it's a job. And everybody's going to be prepared when they walk. There's going to be 11 guys on that defense that it's their entire job to stop you.
I have a hot take.
Like they got to do all this stuff with school and whatnot, all on you. Hit me with that hot take, though.
Caleb Williams will come in and be an absolute menace and a beast year one next year when he's drafted.
Hot.
I don't even think it's that hot. I think a lot of people would agree with me on that one. I know QBs don't come in and light it up. You're right, but this dude is insane.
In the way of a college player said after being in the NFL, college and NFL is a night and day difference. Like, you're going from kids that play a game and have to go to school, like Taylor said, and it's not a job yet, to going into the NFL where it is a guy's job to look across the line and be like, you're not going to do anything of what you want to do in this game. And that's what I've been preparing for the entire offseason.
Have you heard of Amon-Ra's thing about that? He was saying, like, the reason that he fell down draft boards is because scouts and hype videos and all these people don't understand that, like, they don't care about route runners when you're in college. All they care about is the people who, are so fast they break past anybody and get the highlight plays and they get the stats because they're so fast. It's like, if you're not a super blazing speed guy, you're not going to get looked at. You can get all the numbers in the world, but they still won't care because you're not doing any like highlight reel stuff. He's like, that's why he's had success in the NFL and those speedsters haven't. Like, for example, like the John Ross guy that just retired, ran the like 4.2 40 and stuff. He was just fast. He could burn people in college. It was way harder to burn people and outdo a scheme in the NFL. But Amon-Ra, he's a route runner. He knows how to get open. So when you get open in the NFL and you get the ball, you make a name for yourself. And
that feels like it's backwards. Yeah.
You have to be an actual good football player, know how to do multiple things except just speed.
Yeah, I feel like that's completely backwards because, like, look at Travis Kelce. Like, the dude's probably fast for a tight end, but I always think to myself, how is this guy getting open? Like, he's not fast, and he has to be, like, one of the best route runners ever. I said the same thing about Jason Witten as well. That dude was always open when Tony Romo needed him to be open. Like, just randomly would just be open down the field. I'm like, this dude is not fast at all. I've seen him run. This guy, he runs like he can't even stride out. Like, Jason Witten looked horrible when he ran. But the dude was always open. I mean, I think that route running in the NFL and just being able to read a defense and know where the holes are going to be, I think that is, like, way more important than speed is. Speed's great. And I mean, Calvin Johnson was probably one of, like, the craziest people I've ever seen at his height to have that amount of speed and agility. But not everybody has that. And he probably wasn't the best route runner either, but that dude didn't really matter. He just went up and got balls out of the air. There was nobody who was going to stop him. But I feel like Cooper Kupp's another guy like that too. I don't think Cooper Kupp's is that fast either.
Damn, your dog going crazy back there?
He's got the zoomies.
I was going to say, sounds like he's got the zoomies in there. Surprised y'all haven't seen Finn yet. He was messing with my freaking camera stand earlier. I don't know where he went.
I didn't hear Finn at all, but
I'm about to start sweating.
Travis Kelce has very good burst score and speed score. If you go look at his playerprofiler.com.
Mm-hmm.
His 40 was a 4.66. So let's be honest, that's pretty good if you think about it.
I mean, that's not slow.
Yeah, because I mean, like for example, Allen Robinson, I think he ran, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think they both ran about like a 4.5-ish. So really, he's not much slower than those dudes, and he's way bigger, way heavier. So that's probably why his speed and burst score is so high.
Yeah.
Because did you take a guess?
6'5", 250.
Yeah,
and he's running a 4.6. That's fast.
He is 33 now.
That's really fast.
He is old now.
It's fast, but it's not like he's not running routes fast. Like, that much body trying to cut and do a 90-degree turn, like a crossing route. I mean, he's not going to be able to do that as fast as Amon-Ra is.
It's also like he's strong though. Like, because so you can't put a linebacker on him because he's going to be faster and more agile than most of those guys. Yeah. You can't put a safety or a corner on him because he's just going to body him. Like, there's who do you put on him? Like, that's the matchup nightmare that he creates. Is that it's like you can't really just tell somebody, hey, stay on this guy, because you can't. He's too fast and he's too strong.
I think that's why he's always open. Like, I swear it's because they're like, hey, if he comes on this side of the field, you got him. If he comes on this side of the field, you got him. And I don't know. I think you're right. I don't think anybody's manning him up. And if you are, you're going to have to double cover him. And even then, you're still probably not even going to win that war. He reminds me of Vernon Davis.
Heck, the Cowboys have a safety on their team, Jaron Kearse. I mean, that's his job. He's our tight end matchup guy. When we play a team that's got a tight end like that, he's the guy that mans up on them. And he did a phenomenal job last year against the tight ends that we went up against. But it's to that point where you kind of have to have a guy on your team that's a safety, but he's like a bigger bodied safety that could almost play linebacker. And that's your role. You got to be the guy that's going to shut down these tight ends.
That's nuts.
You want to know what else is nuts?
What?
Said you want to know what else is nuts?
What?
That Mike Evans is also 6'5" and 230 instead of 250, and he ran a 4.5.
20 pounds of muscle is a lot.
Yeah, I know, but yeah. Travis Kelce, come on, he's not as. I bet Mike Evans more muscular than Travis Kelce. Has a lower body fat percentage.
I mean, lower body fat, but I mean, Travis Kelce definitely stronger.
Yeah, Mike Evans, he's even faster and has an even better speed score than Travis Kelce.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, the speed score, it takes into account your body comp, like how heavy you are and how tall you are. Because like obviously, if you're like Megatron, I don't even know what Calvin Johnson used to run, but if you're Megatron and you're 6'6",
he had a
and you're
440, I think.
See, there you go, something crazy like that. Obviously, his speed score is probably number one all time. Because
Mike Evans
is supposed to keep up with that.
That's why I was so excited for Mike Evans when he first came in and he was blowing it up. He is Calvin Johnson, like same build. I almost want to say that they are the same exact build. Calvin Johnson was like 6'5", 230, 240, somewhere around there, and ran like a 4.4. And he was known for being able to do crazy things with like a body that size. And it was
Where
just
like unheard of. Where do you guys think
of.
Mike Evans is going ADP right now?
If I had to guess, I'd say round 6 or 7. So I'm going to say pick like 72.
I feel like he's
dropped
low
because of no Brady.
But even with Jameis, he was still getting 1,000 yards. He cranked out 1,000. He's had 1,000 yards every year.
Didn't he have a pretty bad year last year?
He's had 1,000 yards every year.
Every year? Okay, then.
I mean, he's getting drafted behind Christian Watson right now. Christian Watson is going 10 picks ahead of Mike Evans. He's going pick 70.
I'm super low on Christian Watson.
26th wide receiver off the board. Christian Watson is the 22nd wide receiver coming off the board. Calvin Ridley, who hasn't even played football recently, is 19. That's nuts.
I like Calvin.
He's way far down. I like Calvin too, but God, Mike Evans is a proven 1,000-yard machine.
Are they scared of Baker Mayfield?
Baker's supported 2,000-yard receivers before.
He has. That's why I've drafted Mike Evans a lot.
With OBJ and Jarvis Landry, they both got 1K. Like, I don't get the hate on him or Godwin. I like them both still. I think that Baker Mayfield can go out there and be serviceable enough to get those guys the ball.
I want to say that I had Baker Mayfield one year in fantasy football.
Well, that was
I'm not saying do that.
Yeah,
but I am saying that he can get it to those guys enough.
I was gonna say I'm not saying to do it either. I'm just saying I think I had him one year, and I think it was the year, like one of his. It might have been his first year on the Browns, but yeah, I'm also excited to see Trey Palmer on the Bucs because, dude, I don't know. The dude was a monster in college, and I think he was a lot more talented than what he put out on that field because there were several games where he could have been showed out way better, and it was just the lack of the Huskers to be able to get him the ball. Or I don't know what the offensive coordinator's deal was with Trey Palmer, but apparently some games he just didn't want to give him the ball, even though he was by far our best player on our team. But
what's crazy is he became the best wide receiver that Nebraska's ever seen. In that one season where they would go, like you said, there would be a game where they just ignore him, and he still was the best wide receiver we've ever had.
It blew my mind. I have never seen a receiver at Nebraska. Maybe the closest person to him may be Kenny Bell, but other than that, I don't know of a receiver that plays at that caliber at Nebraska. I've never seen one. Other than that, it's unheard of. We've had a couple good inside receivers that were just like crazy, wicked good hands, but to be a deep threat like that, never. It's insane that we weren't throwing to him almost every single play. Blew my mind.
Well, Nebraska has been inept these last few years.
Yeah. Yep. Few years? It's been a decade or more.
2 decades?
What is it? Is it 6 or 7 years we've gone straight without a bowl?
Oh God, I just read that. Pick 6. I can't remember what he was saying.
It's
I
ridiculous.
just remember him hurting my heart so much when you kept talking in the beginning of that.
But this year's our year, boys.
It's not our year.
No, it's not our year, but we are going
It's
to.
our year.
We're
I'm
going.
a Husker fan this year.
No, it is. It is our build
Big
year.
Red.
It is a positive year to come out and
We're gonna make a bowl.
we're
We're making the BCS playoffs, baby. I'm calling it right now.
That's these guys.
no.
A&M?
Come
No.
on.
Nebraska? Yes. You wait. 12-0.
Let me tell you,
11-0.
It is the year for the Huskers to come out and have a change. Go out, be competitive, look good. Don't look like a peewee football team, and because they look really good at sometimes. And then the next game, that you're just like, where was the team last week that we just saw, or come out against OU, score on the first drive. Literally, I think it was the second play of the drive. Score right up the middle on them with a pass, and then never touch the other side of the 50. It felt like the rest of the game. Those things should never happen in Husker football. And hopefully that is the end of that era with Matt Rule, because he seems like he wants to be here for over a decade or until the end of his career. So if he wants to build an amazing program again, I'm all for it. I'm cool with it. If this first year is good, keep him. I don't see it going bad.
I'm gonna call it right now. By the end of this season, they're going to be saying that this Texas A&M team is one of the greatest turnarounds in 1 year that we've ever seen in college football. They're going to, because they were a 5-win team last year. They were so god awful. You watch, they'll come into this season. It's going to be night and day difference on the field.
What about
clip it, Trent? 42 minutes, 30 seconds. There you go.
clip it. Bring it back in December.
What if Nebraska only loses 2 games this year? That would probably be a better turnaround than A&M. A&M has been relevant.
I don't think that's going to happen. You're right. If that happened, if Nebraska went 10-2 this year, you're right. That would be the greatest turnaround.
12-0.
Dude, I would literally cry. I think I'm about to cry right now.
I do not see that happening.
12-0 taking Georgia down in the championship.
Dude, if that happens,
just wait for it.
You're speaking like miracles right now.
Matt Rule knows what he's doing, baby.
We just lost one of our best receivers just because his heart wasn't in football. So that
happened to Cole Beasley.
Built for it. He wasn't built for it. Get him out of here.
Dude, he was hurt all last year, and then comes back this year. They got big things for him, and then just randomly, right before the season starts, just not in it, man.
So
cool.
Did he transfer, or is he just going to do college?
He's done. He's
done.
They said he was going to
walked away from the team.
Would
finish
he
out
have
college,
a late round pick in the NFL or anything?
Not right now.
No, because
he would have had to have had a year. Like Trent was saying, he was supposed to. There was a lot of hype around him, and then he got hurt. And it's just he hasn't put anything on the field for anybody to look at yet.
Name was Xavier Betts. I thought his name was Xavier. It's Xavier.
Oh, it's irrelevant now.
Yeah, it is irrelevant.
It'll be nothing forever.
Who's the other guy? I can't remember.
Calvin Johnson. You were wrong. He ran a 4.35.
Yeah,
dude is insane.
Calvin was stupid. That's why he was called Megatron. He was a machine.
Oh, literally. I know. He has the highest. I was telling about the speed scores. Mike Evans was in the 97th percentile for speed score, so insane, huge dude who could run fast. Megatron, literally the highest recorded speed score of all time, the 100th percentile. He is an absolute animal. Literally,
dude, that's why
the most efficient, powerful being for his size that has ever been on a football field.
It's so sad because he was on the Lions for 10 years and never got to even. Did he even go to the playoffs ever?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, he had.
Did they go to the playoffs? Dude, they were like 2-10, like several years.
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure he had to have gone.
I know he lit up the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was the year that I'm pretty sure I was a Lions fan that year.
Two games.
I bounced back and forth from the Lions and the Cowboys.
2011 and 2014.
He went off in 2011 too.
2011's the year.
God, he tried so hard to get them a dub.
Trent, take a guess what his stats were in that 2011 game.
Hold on. That might be the year that I won.
Don't you look anything up right now.
Yeah, don't look it up.
No, 2011 is when I named my fantasy football team Detroit Lions Are Crazy. So that's the year that I had Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson on my football team. And I believe Reggie Bush too. And Taylor called me crazy because I had 3 Lions players on my fantasy, but it didn't matter because
you won,
Calvin Johnson was insane. Oh yeah,
I would hope you won. Yeah. Take a guess anyway. His stats: 2011 in playoffs. This got to be the greatest playoff performance by a receiver of all time.
In the playoffs?
Gotta be up there.
Yeah, this was in playoffs. He only has 2 career games ever. Both of them were pretty good, to be quite honest. I mean, one better than the other.
So just in the playoff game?
Yeah, this just one game.
12 catches. What?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right so far.
Holy crap. Okay,
cheating.
Hold on.
Here we go.
We're good. 12 catches. 330 yards.
No.
Good.
No. 300 yards.
So let me be real. 12 catches, 240 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Not bad.
Good guess. That was pretty good. After the overreaching of the 300 something.
300 yards.
No one's ever eclipsed 300, right? Isn't it like 296 or something? I think
it would have to have been like back in the day when there used to be just like a quarterback and a receiver, and when they first started passing or something. I would feel
face
like
masks,
like a Larry Bird type thing.
Yeah, it was 211 yards and 2 touchdowns.
211 yards. Oh, dang.
And 15
really
targets.
Close.
So yeah, Matt Stafford was just pouring it down. I mean, shoot,
what is the most
impressive.
receiving yards in a game?
I think it's like 296. I'm pretty sure it's like just shy of 300. I would have to
receiving yards in a single game, 336 yards.
Holy cow!
By Flipper Anderson.
So you were right.
Knew it.
In 1897.
They probably just started passing the ball, this dude just like was the fastest guy on the team. Like had to have been.
No. Dude
It's
played
a tight
in
end.
88 to 97.
Oh.
So it wasn't.
So who threw to him? Dan Marino or something?
It was against the New Orleans Saints back in 1989. They only scored 20 points.
How?
And he had 1 touchdown.
Embarrassing.
That doesn't make any sense.
Should have been at least 2.
It was Jim Everett throwing him the ball.
How many catches did he have that game? 40?
Jim Everett had 29 completions for 454 yards. Flipper Anderson caught 15 of the 29 passes for 336 yards and a touchdown.
More than 20? He had to have had
336 yards and 1 touchdown.
Calvin Johnson is number 2 with 329 in that game against the Cowboys.
And they took him off the field. That's what it was. He could have probably beaten it. Did he win that game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they beat us. It was. I don't know that they took him off. I feel like it was a close game. We stuck with them, but it was just like every time their offense got on the field. Yeah, they beat us 31-30.
Yeah, it's because the Lions will always be the Lions. They'll score as many points as the other team, but they'll lose at the end because their defense is trash.
What's crazy is, as awesome as his game was, Like, dude had 329 yards on 14 catches. He had one touchdown catch, and it was a 2-yard pass. Like, he got all those yards.
Yeah, but I bet it was ridiculous. I bet it was in the corner of the end zone. The dude was stretched out.
He caught an 87-yard pass in that game and didn't score.
Dude must have been on him like glue. That's insane. Who caught that guy? Dude,
I think it was more like they threw a deep bomb and he just went up and, I was going to say mossed everybody, but I guess Megatron'd everybody and caught it.
I say there's a whole new meaning after getting mossed.
Yeah, what did they say before then? Randy Moss came into the league in like 96, 98?
There wasn't a term for it because nobody had ever done it before.
That jumping man catch.
Jerry Rice probably did. But
yeah, he was more of a technician than he was a jump over everybody and go get it guy.
There was that my golden age for whenever I first even got introduced into fantasy and whenever I was first starting to watch football and care about football when I was in like elementary school. The big dudes were Marvin Harrison, Torrey Holt, T.O., and Randy Moss. Those were like the big four.
I was a huge fan of T.O.
Oh, I'm sure you were, even though you're a Lions fan. But...
Yeah, I still like T.O. I never really had a problem with him. Everybody always called him cocky, but I was like, dude, it's his job to be a performer, and people get upset when these guys are cocky. Like, why is Conor McGregor one of the most loved UFC guys? It's because he's cocky, but he can back it up. Nobody likes a cocky guy that sucks, but everybody loves a cocky guy that can perform. Like, if they're that good, they're that good. They can showboat. They can do the things they do. T.O. is just in an era where you weren't allowed to do that kind of stuff, like going and standing on the star and getting smacked.
Yeah.
I mean,
did he have a drop problem in his career ever?
I think he did at one point because when he was on the Cowboys, I think he had a drop problem.
Dude, I have a super vivid memory, and I was just making sure that
I think he had a really bad drop percentage or something like that.
My stepdad said something at the time. He was like, T.O. dropped the ball on a huge pass from Romo or something like that, or whoever the heck was throwing him the ball.
Yeah, it was
Romo. I remember vividly my stepdad yelling, "You complain all over ESPN or whatever the heck, not getting the ball thrown to you enough, and then you drop the dang ball all the time. Use your hand or something. Use your hands, whatever. I don't know what he said." And I just couldn't remember because I don't think I watched intently enough the Cowboys to know if he ever had a drop problem. I just know he was like dominant as all heck.
I don't think he was at his prime when he was at the Cowboys.
I think he was for a little bit, wasn't he? For a couple of years.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was. I don't know about. He was still very, very good when he was.
I was gonna say he wasn't like 49ers and Eagles good.
Let me look up how old he was.
I mean, he was really good.
Did he go to the Eagles? He went to the Eagles before the Cowboys, right? Yeah. Yeah. But since we're talking about fantasy,
he went to Dallas
I just wanted to show everybody the trophy that I should have been holding on for 2 years in a row.
In his 11th season, he went to the Cowboys, so he had to have been at least like 31 when he went there. So yeah, he wasn't quite in his prime.
Damn, okay, nice. I'm going to show everybody this trophy I'm going to hold on to.
College player, I suppose. Yeah, I know, it's a nice trophy.
I'm just going to... It's gonna float around like the DVD thing on the VHS. Yeah, there it is, everybody.
I'm excited to win it this year.
Big 12. I'm excited. I actually kept the box that it came in because it came. I mean, dude, I thought I was gonna break it unpackaging it because of how much bubble wrap was wrapped around this thing. I was very impressed with the shipping. Crown, I think it's called Crown Awards. Kudos. We're sponsored by them. No, I'm joking. But
I'd love that.
But yeah. So there it is. It looks great. Great condition. I mean, it's very sturdy and everything looks great on it. So if anybody's looking for a fantasy trophy, go on Crown Awards. But yeah,
tell them we sent you.
Yeah, tell them we sent you. Nothing savvy.
Type in savvy to get 10% off your order.
When T.O. was 34, he actually had one of his statistical best seasons of his career.
With the Cowboys.
With the Cowboys, 1,355 yards, 15 touchdowns.
I remember him being
monster,
really good.
Man.
I just didn't know if he was at his best when he was at the
then
Cowboys.
we went straight from him to Des Bryant. God, that was awesome.
They were both 88. No,
Terrell Owens was 81.
81.
Ingrained in my head is the cover he was on 2K football back in the day, of him in the Eagles, like doing some one-handed catch or something like that. And 81 flashing before my eyes. I'll never forget. Actually, because 81 used to be the number that all the greats were. Like Randy Moss switched to 81 after being 84 for so long on the Vikings when he went to the Patriots. I know he was 81. T.O. was 81. I don't remember if Torrey Holt was 81, but I want to say he was 81. Marvin Harrison, what was he, 88? Or was he 85? Or
Harrison was 88.
88. And Des Bryant was 88, right?
Yeah, Des was 88. 88, that has a huge legacy over in Dallas, like Michael Irvin and everybody.
What's funny is people say that. People forget that Antonio Bryant wore 88 for the Cowboys. There was somebody else that wore 88 in between there too. Like, people forget, like, 88's kind of, Drew Pearson wore it, Michael Irvin wore it, Des Bryant wore it. There's been a couple of guys wear 88 for the Cowboys that, I was gonna say, someone did wear it before. Kind of misses by Jones and Co. when they're handing out those numbers.
Was Antonio Bryant, did he have a couple good years though? He did, didn't he? I'm trying to see which.
Not with us, he didn't.
I was gonna say I don't think he did because I was a Cowboys fan back then, and was it Miles Austin? Miles Austin was 19. Yeah.
Is there a guy at the? I know we're all in the same fantasy league, so this is kind of a tough question, but is there a guy that you are writing down on your sticky note and putting it on your computer and saying, I'm taking so and so no matter what this year? Is there one guy that you believe in that much that you're like, I cannot leave my draft without this dude?
Do I want to say this?
I'm not going to say mine
that's what I'm saying. It's tough because we're all in the same, but it's a good topic of conversation.
So
it is.
Once I figure out my duo that I'm going to do, there's going to be 2 names on my computer, and I'm not leaving that auction without those 2 guys. And I will say this.
So
it's going to be fairly obvious who it is, though. Like, we're just going to see that number keep ticking up.
Yeah.
So I might play it out to where, like, I might bet on, like, random quarterbacks that could have potential good duos, and then everybody's like, oh, or y'all would be like, oh, there he is, and then I'll just drop out. And just, like, done.
That's how you end up with Leonard Fournette. Careful.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he did it to me. We were looking at the duo right here
too. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, I feel bad for you.
I'll say mine because I'm not afraid. I'm not a baby like Trent who's gonna hide.
I'm not saying that, dude. You know what? Ruin my whole draft. Don't say it.
I'll pivot. No, I'm doing it. You know what?
I'm gonna pivot. Then.
And also, I was gonna say, you 2 have to, because I don't know if the other people are gonna watch this, but you 2 have to promise.
Durbin,
if it's somebody that you already, well, he can bid me up. I'll just take someone else.
I think the only people that do watch are people from our league.
Well, that's fine. Maybe they don't watch all the time. I'm just saying, my person. Any guesses? I'll say it's a quarterback. Go ahead. That makes it so much easier than running back. Receiver.
Aaron Rodgers.
Herbert.
It's Herbert. Herbert's my guy this year. I just think with this new passing offense, everyone, like, the projections on the ESPN for him are that he's only going to throw for like less than 4,000 yards. And I'm like, dude, I think he's going to throw for at least 4,500. He could even hit the 5,000 mark, like, a Mahomes type. Because he's going to be passing so much this year. He's got so many weapons if they stay healthy.
Who's his running back?
Eckler.
Oh.
Who catches a lot of passes.
I'm not touching Eckler.
I was joking as in, like, there's my duo. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, shut up. I'm not spending $70 on a a running back, so you heard it here first. But no, Herbert's a pretty decent price. I've seen him go for a running back,
and I'll spend 70 on Eckler or Herbert.
I hope you do. I will ruin your season. I'll bid you all the way up.
He's like, literally, like, we're gonna get all the way to 100 on Herbert, and then I'm just gonna back out.
I don't
know if will it let you go that high?
Yeah, it will. It'll let you go up to 100.
Oh no, it will
like
only
not
let you go After you get your first person, if your next one goes too high, it'll literally cut you off, because if you go too high after a certain point, you won't be able to draft.
You have to leave $1 for every. You have to leave $1 for every spot that you have left to fill, because you have to be able to at least bid $1 to fill up your roster.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember
know, when
Trent,
I was doing my mock draft,
I
was doing that.
We all know, me and Taylor both know, we text on the side, on the reg, and we know that you're going to pick either Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, or it's going to be Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We already know what it is.
Actually, Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown is not one of my duos, but you got the first one right.
Reverse Aaron Rodgers, I see what you're doing here.
Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is one of them.
Shut up! Why would you do? You're gonna spend over $100, dude. You know Travis Kelce's going for like $70,
dude.
And Mahomes is like 40.
I have done it in a mock, and it's not easy, and it doesn't end very well. But I think I could do it. If it
didn't
works
go
out
my
well.
way, and I think it's horrible, but I might still go through with it.
How could this go wrong?
It only doesn't go my way because the computers are like auto picked to pick certain people, and they're not going to pick them like people do. And I don't think that anybody would pick a quarterback early. So I'm telling y'all my whole thing, but I don't think I'll go for the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce thing, just because. But anyways, so the strategy, if I go for Patrick Mahomes, would be I would do it like right off the bat. I mean, or I would wait a little bit till like the third round. I think he would last till the third round, honestly. But if he doesn't, if say he got to the third round, everybody's already picked like their most expensive people, I would just steal that. I mean, I probably would get it for like $40. But I also think if I tried to take him early, I think people would just bid it up. And if it goes over a certain number, then I'll just give up on it. And then someone's stuck with a $60 quarterback. And I'm okay with having him at 50 or 60. But if someone else is going to outbid me or whatever.
You're going to spend 50 or 60 on Mahomes? Okay, thank you for that.
I got him for 50 or 60. And then I got
Holy
Travis
cow.
Kelce for 50 or 60. It's another year with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. I'd be unstoppable. I wouldn't even need anybody else other than a couple of decent.
He's trolling players right now. He's getting in my head to make me think
that's what he's doing.
Chance.
That's what he's doing. That's not even one of the duos that he's looking at. He just wants everybody on that. He's trying to throw us. He already said he wasn't going to tell us.
Yeah.
So let's see. So he mentioned Aaron Rodgers and he mentioned Patrick Mahomes, so we can cross those off the list. It's not them. I think it's more likely that he goes back to the well with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and tries to pair those two up again. I think that's probably his best case scenario. Is like, go back to the well, give me Jalen Hurts, give me AJ Brown. I also think he could try and go with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I think that he would. He seems like the guy that would go for that as well. Don't sleep on Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley. That could be a good one too.
I thought about Trevor Lawrence, but last year when I had him, I'm a big like I hold grudges in fantasy football. Which is horrible, but Trevor Lawrence, every time I put him in, he played horrible. So I don't think I could go with him. I think he's my bad luck charm. So I don't. That one's like a black cloud for me. But I mean, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. I'm not gonna say I won't do it if the opportunity presents itself, but
okay.
I nailed it. That's exactly what he's doing.
I know you nailed it. You want to know how I know? Because he looked down and to the left and gave a tell. With every other one that you said, he was looking straight forward and just was doing this and laughing. Anthony, but when you said Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, he goes. He just like started freaking out of control. He didn't know. So that was his number one, dude.
I just did 2 polygraphs, all right? So, I mean...
Well, you have a tell on those polygraphs, too, I bet.
I don't lie, okay?
Your heart rate's fluttering as soon as he said A.J. Brown, and no one thinks you're going to try to go back-to-back with Jalen Hurts.
A little pitter-patter.
Yeah.
I don't lie.
What do they call it? Inconclusive? You have an inconclusive polygraph now? Yeah, okay.
I'm telling y'all the truth. I mean, if the Jalen Hurts thing and the A.J. Brown thing works out, that'd be awesome. If it presents itself, cool. Do I have more than one duo that I'm looking at? Yes. Is Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown my number one? Probably not. I'm a little afraid to go with the same thing. I've been burned before for sticking with the same team almost. I think I got burned with that with the Lions. I think I picked Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson the next year, and then Calvin Johnson got hurt, and my season was over. he was out for like several weeks with an ankle injury or something. But I'm open to a new team, but I'm also open to a new strategy, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. So, because I mean, look where the duo got me, guys. I mean, it's just
it's boom or bust. You're either last place or first place, right? Because if you ain't first or last, it don't matter. So,
exactly.
Well,
I mean,
especially in this league, it actually
it's not that bad.
It is true, honestly. Stacking might be worth it.
Speaking of last place, and we're way over time. My wife's gonna kill me. So speaking of last place, in my other league, I have to get a shout out because he tagged us on our TikTok. I don't know if y'all saw it, but if you go on TikTok, I think you can see I reposted it or something. But K-Dub from our other league got last place 2 years ago, and we made this new challenge. If you get last place, you have to run a beer mile. And he didn't want to run it, and I'm about to run it whenever I come back to Bridgeport. But we're gonna do it there, and I'm gonna have someone film and everything. So it's probably gonna be featured on here and everything, and on TikTok. But he did it
YouTube.
and filmed it, but it's hilarious. I mean, the last place trophy that they have, it's a heart, but it has a little nutsack in the middle because our team or our league name is D's Nuts. So it works out perfectly. It's hilarious. But yeah, a shout out to K-Dub for actually doing it and then tagging us in it. It's a really good TikTok. Y'all should go look at it.
I'll go look at it. And before we end this, don't let Taylor get away without saying one of his things. He
Ah!
thought he was gonna get out of here.
You dirty dog.
He was gonna do it too. He was gonna allow it to just sneak by.
I was, and then as soon as the recording was done, I was gonna be like, I appreciate you guys giving me all your insight, and then not even asking me why. Just click out. Oh man, I tell you what, I almost hate that I like this guy so much because we have a diehard Saints fan in our league, and so I doubt that I'll be able to pry him away from him. But I want Chris Olave so bad this year. I think this is going to be his year 2 breakout, holy cow season with Derek Carr out there. I think it's going to be crazy good for him. So I'm excited about him, and I hope that I'm able to get him. But like I said, we've got a diehard Saints fan in the league.
Who had him last year?
I might have.
Are you being goofy saying it was you? Because I literally don't know.
I honestly, it might have honestly been me.
I can't remember if I had him, but
I can't remember. I know I had him in some league that I had, but it might have been
too many leagues.
Me in that one. But I think he's primed for his breakout year this year.
Did you see my text the other day that I told you about Olave and his price?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was what I had him on. I do this little thing. It's called a par sheet. I don't know if you heard about it before, but it's just like keeping track of like the discounts and the premiums you pay on players, so you constantly know if you need to scrape some off the top on someone else, or if you could add up and get somebody better. Something I didn't do last year that I learned about this year. Anyway, I had Chris Olave on one of those as like a projected person for like $26 or something, because I was like, that's a good price for someone who could finish as like a top 8 wide receiver. And then all of a sudden his stuff got updated on ESPN and he's now like a $40 receiver, and it completely killed it because now I'm like $15 over on my budget. So I don't know how to make it work anymore. That made me pretty much give up on Olave. So you have one less person in the running for Olave. He's all yours, bud, because I'm not touching him now. He's too expensive for me.
And I know he's going to be expensive, but Bijan Robinson also. I think we're going to see a Zeke type rookie year out of him. Like it's going to be, because what else? That team. Is Ritter still the quarterback? I don't think I'm not a believer in Ritter. I think they're going to have to ride Bijan Robinson. I think they're going to pass him the ball. They're going to run the ball. It's going to be the Bijan show out there. So I think he's one that'll be fun to have on your team if you can get him.
And running backs go so crazy priced in our league, so it's going to be tough.
I can't believe you almost got away with that.
I am not letting it slide.
I know.
No.
I know. I completely forgot about it. I was so worked. I was like thinking about my duo. You got me all like just my head was everywhere.
See, you got away without giving us anything, really. So you should have to give us something right now too before you leave and your wife yells at you.
I don't change. Like I'm very predictable. Like
then give us one player.
I was gonna
Don't
say,
give us your stack.
I think it's far more likely that Trent doesn't have a plan than it is that he's lying about who he's kidding.
So like 1 year, Jace Halter had the pick right before me, or right after me, or something, and he said like I think it was right after me, because he said each time I knew who I was gonna pick because I knew who you weren't gonna pick. That's how predictable you are. And I was like, yeah, but I've won the league 4 years now. So, I mean, nobody's stopping me. But I don't know. I do the same thing every year. I don't really have a plan. And then when I get in there, it's just basically what I feel that year. But
so before we leave, I just want to point out this kind of inception. You're holding the trophy that has like a laptop and all that stuff, and you're also holding a laptop while holding the dude with the laptop.
All I need is a dream within a dream.
All I need is a beer and a remote. But no, it's going to be a good year. I can't wait. We will. I don't know. We'll try to get a podcast out. I guess right before,
maybe right after, as a draft recap, starts. Kind of talk about our teams and stuff.
Okay, when is our draft for this league?
The 2nd so far, I think, unless that changes.
September 2nd?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, because last year I had the reason why I think I did so bad in my league, my other league, was because our league and that league was at the same time, and I was more focused on the auction than I was the snake draft. But theirs is on like the 26th or something like that, and if ours is on the 2nd, that's great. That works out great.
I think that's the last day of preseason. That's why a lot of people are doing that instead of waiting the week and a half after for the season.
Sweet. Let's all right, we'll do it. We'll do one right after the 2nd at some point. Talk about our drafts and stuff. That'll work out great. Give me some time.
See who has the best team in general.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. We'll talk about each other's teams.
And you'll find out my duo.
I just, whenever you start bidding on a quarterback, I should just ruin your season so you can't be the back-to-back-to-back champ. When I see you bidding on a quarterback, I'm just gonna keep going with you.
Don't be a what, Kale Haas, is that his name? I think that's his name. Picked like Haas. 4 quarterbacks one year just to try to like, I don't know what he was doing, but dude, that made me so angry.
And they were all good. Like he had like the number 2, the number 3, and the number 5 quarterback in our league.
Wild.
Dude,
I tried to trade him so many times. He wouldn't give them up.
Dude, that made me so mad. I was like, this should not be allowed. But
it's a form of defense, dude. With this year, with this last year, how it was Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts. If you took all 3 of them and they were scoring 30 plus a game, and everyone else was only scoring 20, hey,
just rotting on your bench.
Yeah, but you took 10 points off the top of everyone else.
Don't even put those 3 in either. Just leave them on your bench and have a 20-point quarterback in there, and you're just making it even. Dude, that would make me so angry.
Light your money on fire, but it's funny at least, right?
Right. But yeah. All
right. Yeah, we're way over, but hey, that's okay.
Yeah, we're way over. My son's still sleeping, so that's good. It's fine. But here we. I don't know how to end these anymore without your witty little rhymes.
They're coming back.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
I'm always like, you heard the man, but like nobody says anything before that, so it doesn't make any sense. I say you keep doing that. I say you just keep saying, well, you heard the man. Let's get out of here.
Well, you heard the man. Nothing savvy. We out.
Bye, everyone.